Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever suffered a brutal defeat against Portland, and what should have been just another regular season loss has quickly turned into one of the biggest talking points in women's basketball. Fans expected a competitive matchup, but instead they witnessed a game that exposed many of the problems that have haunted Indiana throughout the season. The Fever looked out of sync, struggled defensively, and never seemed to find a consistent rhythm. Yet despite the disappointing result, the spotlight once again landed squarely on Caitlin Clark. From the opening minutes, Clark appeared determined to keep Indiana in the game. She pushed the pace, created scoring opportunities, and tried to ignite the offense whenever Portland threatened to pull away. There were moments when her talent was impossible to ignore. She made difficult passes, hit shots from long range, and demonstrated the basketball IQ that has made her one of the most talked about players in the sport. But basketball is a team game, and even a player with Clark's ability cannot carry an entire franchise on her shoulders every single night. As Portland's lead continued to grow, frustration became increasingly visible. The Fever struggled to contain Portland's offensive attack, allowing easy baskets and failing to make crucial defensive adjustments. Every mistake seemed to make the situation worse. Turnovers led to fast break points. Missed defensive assignments created open looks. Rebounding issues gave Portland second-chance opportunities. Before long, what started as a competitive contest turned into a one-sided affair. The cameras frequently focused on Caitlin Clark during timeouts and breaks in play. Fans watching closely noticed her reactions and body language. Some interpreted her expressions as frustration with the team's performance. Others believed she was unhappy with certain coaching decisions. Social media immediately exploded with speculation. Clips began circulating online, with thousands of fans debating what was really happening on the sidelines. This is where Stephanie White entered the conversation. As head coach of the Indiana Fever, White faces enormous pressure every time the team takes the floor. Coaching a young roster is challenging enough, but coaching a team led by one of the biggest stars in basketball brings an entirely different level of scrutiny. Every substitution is analyzed, every timeout is questioned, every tactical decision becomes a subject of debate. Following the loss, many fans directed their frustration toward White. Critics argued that the team lacked adjustments when Portland gained momentum. Others questioned the offensive system and whether it was doing enough to maximize Clark's unique abilities. Some even suggested that Clark appeared frustrated with the direction of the team. However, it's important to remember that losing basketball games is rarely the fault of one person. Coaching certainly matters, but execution on the court matters as well. The Fever's problems against Portland went far beyond strategy. Defensive lapses, poor communication, missed opportunities, and inconsistent play all contributed to the outcome. Blaming a single coach or player oversimplifies a much more complicated situation. Still, the discussion surrounding Clark and White highlights a larger issue facing the Fever organization. Expectations have skyrocketed. Ever since Caitlin Clark arrived, fans have expected immediate success. Ticket sales increased, television ratings climbed, national attention followed the team everywhere. With that attention came pressure. Many people forget that rebuilding a franchise takes time. Developing chemistry, establishing a winning culture, and building a consistent contender doesn't happen overnight. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be frustrating losses. There will be games that raise difficult questions about leadership, strategy, and player development. For Clark, the challenge is especially unique. She entered the professional ranks carrying unprecedented expectations. Every performance is analyzed. Every mistake becomes a headline. Every victory is celebrated as proof of her greatness, while every defeat becomes an opportunity for critics to question her impact. Few athletes in recent memory have experienced this level of attention so early in their careers. Against Portland, Clark once again found herself in an impossible position. If she plays well and the team loses, critics ask why her performance didn't lead to a win. If she struggles individually, critics point to her statistics. The reality is that basketball is far more complex than individual box scores. One player can influence a game, but championships and successful seasons are built on collective effort. Teammates must contribute. Coaches must adapt. Organizations must remain patient through adversity. That's true for every team in professional sports, and it's certainly true for the Indiana Fever. What makes this situation fascinating is how quickly narratives can form. A few camera angles, a few moments of visible frustration, and suddenly people begin talking about conflict between a player and coach. Yet those inside competitive sports understand that frustration is normal. Great athletes hate losing. Great coaches hate losing. Emotions run high during difficult games. In many cases, those emotions are signs of passion rather than dysfunction. As the Fever move forward, the biggest question isn't whether Clark was frustrated during a loss. The biggest question is how the team responds. Great teams are not defined by how they perform when everything is going well. They are defined by how they respond when things go wrong. Can Indiana tighten up its defense? Can the coaching staff find better solutions against elite opponents? Can the roster provide Clark with more consistent support? These are the questions that matter far more than any viral social media clip. Portland deserves significant credit as well. Too often, discussions after a major defeat focus entirely on the losing team. Portland executed its game plan effectively, played with confidence, and took advantage of Indiana's mistakes. Winning by a large margin at the professional level is never easy. It requires discipline, preparation, and strong execution. For Indiana, the road ahead remains challenging. The season is far from over, but every game becomes increasingly important. Fans will continue watching closely. Analysts will continue debating every decision. The spotlight surrounding Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. In fact, it will only grow brighter. That's the reality of being one of the biggest stars in sports. Every success becomes national news. Every setback becomes a trending topic. Every interaction with coaches and teammates is examined in extraordinary detail. The loss to Portland may ultimately be remembered as nothing more than a difficult night in a long season. Or it could become a turning point that forces the Fever to confront weaknesses and make important adjustments. Only time will tell. What is certain is that Caitlin Clark remains at the center of one of the most compelling stories in basketball. Whether she's hitting impossible shots, making highlight reel passes, or dealing with the frustrations that come with losing, people are paying attention. The Fever's journey remains one of the most closely watched stories in the sport, and after this disappointing performance, the pressure on everyone involved has only increased. Now the challenge begins. Can Indiana learn from this defeat? Can Stephanie White guide the team through adversity? Can Caitlin Clark continue developing as both a superstar and a leader? Those questions will shape the rest of the season. And if this game proved anything, it's that the basketball world will be watching every step of the way.